Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Allyson.
Morning. Okay, I wasn't quite sure how this day was going to go. These past 3 or 4 months have been a little, bit of an emotional roller coaster for myself and for my family. My sisters who were ill, but they're doing really well. So I spent all my time focusing on, doing healings for my sisters and supporting my parents. And people were telling me, says, well, don't you need to have some emotional release? You need to get it out there. You need to have a breakdown. You need to, I said, well, I don't have time for that. I need to stand for my family right now. I don't have time to be emotional. I don't have time to, my parents need me. My father, he's ill as well. And it just all kind of came down all at one time. Things weren't going all that great at work. I'm just kind of to the point where I was just tired of it. My boss kept asking me to take on different positions. Management and I just said, I don't want to do that. I've been in this business for so long. I just want to come to work and go home. I don't want any responsibility. I don't want to have to talk to people I don't have to. I just want to go to work and just come home at the end of the day. My day's long enough. Why do I need to stress myself out? So my parents took it a little hard, and we were out to dinner one night. And it just so happens that every time one of my sisters found out they were ill, my parents were away. So my dad says, we're not going away anymore. And I says, okay, Dad, it's all done. And he's sitting across the table from me and goes, and what about you? Are you next? And I said, Dad, I just had a physical. I'm really, really healthy. You don't have anything to worry about. Not me. This was, about a week before they were going away. So it was just before Thanksgiving. I had a bit of an accident. And then 2 days before my parents were to go away, I ended up in the hospital. I didn't tell them because I didn't see the point in ruining their trip. So I find it interesting how when we're put on our life's path, that even though you've heard me talk before, I got to fight every change that I do. I have to put up blockers and I have to say, nah, I like the way things are moving. I don't want to change. Why do I need to change? Things are going the way I want them to go. Well, Spirit says no. You're going to do it, you're going to do it the way we want you to do it, whether you like to do it or not. So this little story that I have for you is pretty much what I call and another thing. So, as some of you might know, for the past month and a half, I've been recovering from a concussion. You might not think that concussions are really, that bad, but I have a history of concussions throughout my life. So right now I have post-concussion syndrome, okay? So I took a whack on the left side of my head. Here's a little chuckle for you. I hit my head with my car door. This probably doesn't seem like much, but like I said, I have a lifetime of head injuries due to sports and my career. I know you're probably wondering, what kind of career would you get hit a lot? Well, I'm in security, so. I spent 8 years at the Sky Dome dealing with a lot of drunk people. So you have a tendency to take a lot of shots. So this particular injury was enough to do damage, enough to cause trauma. So the first week I spent sleeping and being babysat. I might say, my babysitter sitting here, which she was kind enough to take care of me when my wife was working. She was very tough, I might say, and she wouldn't let me do anything except for sleep. I've had to learn to adjust and adapt to this injury. I literally felt I was not stupid, and then my IQ dropped 30 points. I'm serious. My thought process had slowed. I have a hard time with simple conversations and can't remember where I left something even when I'm looking right at it. Not much is registering. And hence is why I have to write things down. About a month after the injury, I would still spend time with no activity, no visual or auditory stimulation. in the dark, so to speak. I still have problems with sound, light, and most visual stimulation. The worst part again is that my thought process and expressing these thoughts and my short-term memory loss, I still really have issues with that. And you're probably wondering how I got this done. Well, it took me forever. I started to become very angry and very frustrated. The simplest things, like recalling what I had done the day before, would send me into physical reactions. So in order to deal with something, I literally had to punch the air so that I could force the words to come out. It became such a struggle that I would literally cry because I couldn't decide what I wanted for dinner, because I couldn't get the words out. That, let's have chicken, roasted chicken. I couldn't get the words out. So I would physically, But until 2 weeks ago, I've been fighting the process. I was so busy fighting my brain that I made my headaches worse and exhausting myself. So I retreated to sleeping. I start to worry about depression and my ability to think the way I normally do. Being in security for a long time and having psychic abilities, I think very quickly. And I usually think 3 steps ahead. Not so much right now. Will it change? I actually don't know. My doctor suggested that I seek professional therapy. And that I suggested I suggested to her, well, maybe I should just stop whining and feeling sorry for myself and pay attention to spirit. Because it was the whole thing, everything happens for a reason. And I had to really decide to take a look at why it happened. So as I struggled and moped in self-pity, I forgot about the other half of me. I was so stuck in my logical left brain that I forgot about my spiritual right brain. I forgot about my abilities, my spiritual self-guides, and healers. I couldn't work readings, I couldn't go out of body, and I think I put everything away and didn't realize it. It is interesting how spirit can force your hand. It can move you on your life's path, force you to slow down and reevaluate one's life. I've had to stop working my day job. At this point, I may never be able to spend another 14 hours a day driving 300-400 kilometers a day. At this point, I realized, and I think I had known before, that my job is not my path. Being a medium, teaching, and helping others is my path. Well, with these issues, I had to allow spirit to take over. I would sit quiet, not in a meditative state, but purely in visualization, looking into a lake of water and allow the words to flow through the water so that I could actually see the words. And once I could see the words, I could express what I was saying. So I stopped struggling and fighting myself, which has a tendency to make interesting conversations with people. That you have to be very patient with me now. And my friends, my family have been, really, really good about it, because sometimes it does take me a good 2 to 3 minutes to get out what I need to say. So this knockdown is the lane change that I've been passing by. And when I realized this, I focused on helping my brain instead of whining about it. I refocused my priorities and adapted to the situation. Now I have to write things down to remember. I cave to the list. I hate making lists. I hate writing things down. And it was Kelly. Kelly's my wife Kelly, she's a big list doer. Everything has to have a list. And we would argue about the lists all the time. And then she would turn to me and says, so, you gonna write a list? Yes. But I'm okay with it now. Once I accepted my limitations, I was able to connect with spirit and give people messages. I can now do some out of the body work, not a lot, but I'm getting better. My brain is different. My vision and hearing are very sensitive, but they're also improving. Letting go of my logical brain was a concern until I decided it doesn't really matter anymore. It's about adjusting to my path. Although pushed onto it, I'm not going to fear it. All I'm really trying to express here is to pay attention to yourself and pay attention to spirit. Walk your talk before you knock yourself silly and have to spend the rest of your life behind glasses. Sunglasses, actually. So it's a little short and sweet today, but it did take me a long time to put that little piece together. It actually wasn't what I wanted to talk about today. I actually had, you know, another lecture, and I realized that as I was reading it, I didn't understand it. So I guess I'm not at the point where I can actually comprehend the things that I've already written, because I didn't understand the 2 lectures that I had already written. So I had to decide that I agreed to do today, and so I'm going to walk my walk, talk my talk, and work on becoming a full-time medium, and see what happens and leave it up to Spirit. Thank you.